Wow. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Wildflower Mama Witch, and today I am so excited. I have got a reading for you that is very cottagecore, mush love vibes for you. I am so excited. Mushrooms just make me so happy. I've got my mushroom shirt on today, so don't mind the cat hair on it. But I've been wearing it today, and I didn't really have an idea for this reading in mind, and I just looked down at my shirt, and I had just today picked up these cute little pieces for my sister's fairy garden, and I was like, let's do mushroom messages, messages from the mushrooms. I've also got my cute little mushroom earrings that I made for myself. I just painted my nails right before this, and I do not own nail polish remover, so I got a little bit of extra paint on my hands, so don't mind that either. But yeah, I'm so excited to see what messages we get from the mushrooms today. And if you are new to pick a card readings, I have 4 piles to choose from, which is something really new for me. Usually I only do 3, but today, since it came with 4, I decided to do 4. You can choose based off of the number, based off of the mushroom, the timestamp that is down below in the description. If you are a seasoned pick a card veteran, feel free to just skip on ahead. Also, just wanted to mention, like I did in my last video, I got a lovely kitten. Here she comes. This is Luna, and she is still learning how to be a member of this household. So don't mind her if she decides to make some appearances throughout this reading. I'm going to try my best to keep her like on my lap, or you know, around but not on top of the reading. She just really likes to be here to get the vibes right, to deliver some extra messages. So if she has anything to say, I will definitely be letting you know. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a few deep breaths. If you still haven't figured out which pile or piles you would like to choose, you can pick more than one. You can pick all of them. If you don't want to pick any of them, that is totally okay too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a deep breath now. All right, I really needed that. I don't know about everybody else, but that was a really nice deep breath. Luna's on my lap now. She's all cuddly, and oh, she got upset because I moved her a little bit, but she's gonna be fine. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started. Thanks, Luna. Alrighty, pile number 1. You're up first. If you chose this cute, teeny tiny little mushroom, this is your reading. I'll put her right there. I tried something new today, and I actually shuffled out each pile's cards ahead of time. So let me know what you think about that. If you prefer the live shuffle, if you prefer the pre-shuffled. I thought that it would just save a little bit of time possibly, and I also felt like I get a lot of repeat messages in the different piles. Sometimes the same like few cards will come up, and so with so many different piles this time, I thought it might be nice to kind of make sure that each pile is very specific to whoever chooses it. So you have the Fool, you have the Knave of Cups. Also, the Fool, man, the Fool has been following me around lately. It's in almost every single pick a card that I've been watching, and I've gotten it multiple times in my own readings for myself, like with this deck too, so that's funny. This might be my pile. Eight of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Ooh, all right. So I love that the Fool card is up first here. I feel like this being messages from the mushrooms want you to know that it is time to act a fool. It's time to walk through life. The air conditioning just came on too, so it's like, yes. But it's time for you to walk through your life like you are the Fool. Like this is chapter 1. Like you are brand new to this life. This is a new journey that's about to unfold, a new beginning, a new way of going forward. Like every time you walk outside, pretend like it's your first time going outside. What do you see? What do you smell? Do you notice the bird songs? Do you notice how green the leaves are? I'm looking outside at the biggest tree in my yard, and every single day this time of year, it just amazes me that not long ago the tree's leaves were gone. There were no leaves at all, and slowly they've been growing back day by day, and you don't notice, you know, exactly how much they grow each day, but after now a couple of weeks of growth, it's like, whoa, it's so green. And all the plants along my walkway, they are sprouting and growing taller and taller, and it's just beautiful to kind of see this new beginning in this upcoming springtime. So I really feel like, you know, there's flowers in the background here and bubbles, and I feel like it's just really calling for you to, like I said, step outside and step outside of the box and just go into every situation with an open heart and an open mind, like you've never done it before, with no expectations of what might come, and just kind of see what comes up, see what you notice, and see how you feel, and just be ready. Oops, sorry. I just had to adjust myself. But yeah, and again, like, so with the Knave of Cups, that card, to me, it's like noticing, again, with the noticing, I think that the mushrooms are really calling for you to be very observant at this time, and especially of nature, especially of things outside of animals. I feel like the mushrooms are calling you to, like I said, just be very present and observant, because you're going to find beauty and you're going to find messages and lessons in the most unlikely of places. I used to be absolutely terrified of birds. Just fun fact about me, like up until just a few years ago, I was absolutely terrified of birds. Now, I absolutely adore birds. Birds come to me nearly every single day with different messages. I love cardinals as a message from my great-grandpa that he's here watching out for me. I love messages from blue jays for strength, communication, confidence. I love messages from robins, new beginnings, springtime, beauty, fertility. Hummingbirds, my great-grandma, she's here for me. She loves me. you know? So, but not just with birds, I feel like it's just with any animals or with any plants. I feel like you're just really being called to kind of like see how you feel when you are observing something so beautiful outside. Like, plants can speak to you, animals can speak to you. Nature is alive, and there's messages waiting for you if you just open up your heart and open up your time to being present in the moment outside and amongst this beautiful life that is all around you. And another example real quick is my cat. She is over here, you know, making all kinds of noises in the grocery bags from me buying some of these things from the Dollar Tree earlier. And, you know, and same with kids. I've got a kid too. Sometimes kids, sometimes pets, sometimes people, they do things that are on the surface level maybe a little bit annoying. But if you look a little bit deeper and you really just observe and you reflect and you think about things, you know, she's just trying to play. She's just trying to have fun. So I think that that is kind of the messages from the mushrooms, is like, really just be so observant and reflective at this time. It's a full moon as I'm filming this today as well, and there's also bubbles. There's bubbles in like 3 of these cards, so bubbles. Play with some bubbles. Notice the bubbles. But it's a full moon today, so I feel like, you know, if you're watching this as this comes out, it's probably going to be in the next couple of days, so you might still be feeling some of that full moon energy. And it's a really good time to kind of reflect on how this cycle has been going and what are you calling in? What energy are you bringing into the rest of this cycle? I feel like at this time you might be feeling really overwhelmed. I think that you have a lot of, I just burped, so again, yep, that was energy like, You have a lot going on, you have a lot coming up, and that is wanting to get out. I feel like you have quite a few like passion projects that might be in the works, or some really, really big creative like ideas, some sort of art for some of you, I feel. And it might just feel kind of like overwhelming at this time. Like you can't get it all done. You have so much that you want to do, and it's all just like exploding out of you, and you feel very chaotic and you feel very all over the place and like you can't keep up. But this is where these beautiful cards are gonna help. And especially too, like getting into the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a card that reminds us to, it's not about like controlling your emotions necessarily. I mean, it is in a sense, but it's about learning how to feel your feelings without letting them completely overtake you. It's about being able to recognize the way that you feel. Why do you feel that way? Where can you give yourself more grace? Where can you give yourself more compassion? When you're able to be the Fool, and to, you know, when you're feeling very overwhelmed, when you're feeling, you know, big emotions, what do you do in order to help yourself regulate, help yourself feel the feelings, but also feel better if it's something that you need to feel better from? I think that it's time to look into new ways of doing that, new ways of helping yourself in these very overwhelmed times, in these very big emotion times. Taking a walk outside and, like I said, pretending to be the Fool. Pretending that this is your first time taking a walk down your street. If you have access to a forest somewhere, pretend like it's your first time ever walking through a forest. Oh my goodness, the trees are so tall. They're so beautiful. They're speaking to me. They want to hug me. They have something so important to say to me. What is it? Listen. Getting deep here. All right. I just really feel like when you're able to practice this, full walking through life, observing and like everything is new energy, you're going to know what direction to kind of focus all of this chaotic creative energy. I think you're going to have more peace in your heart. You're going to be this Queen of Cups. You're going to be calm and cool and collected. You're going to feel more grounded. You're going to feel more safe in yourself, in your body, in your practices, in the world. I think it's going to really help to kind of rein in this dragon, if you will. Kind of rein in these wands, because you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot that you're trying to, throw out there. But they kind of are reminding me of arrows in this deck, but your arrows will always miss if you're just like chaotically shooting them all over the place. If you're relaxing and grounding and centering and really just finding beauty in the present, like I keep saying, I think that it's going to be a much more focused target of where to direct your energy and where to direct your time, and what creative ideas and projects and passions are the ones that you're really going to drive forward. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get some charms for you, pile number 1, to get any further messages or synchronicities or signs from the mushrooms. I'm just going to take them all. I might not go into super detail about every single one because quite a few came out, but you got the moon. So again, I mentioned the full moon, so maybe take some time to just go outside and observe the moon, observe the stars. I think that could be a source of inspiration and just a source of like being in awe. You got this little dove. So that's really beautiful with, earlier I was talking about birds being a sign for you. I feel like for one or more of you, birds are a huge sign for you in some sort of way. It could be, like I said, an angel, a spirit guide who you already know or recognize when a certain type of bird comes to like a certain place for you, or you might just know a certain bird type really well, and that their like spiritual meaning has, a deep meaning and connection to you. But I do feel like birds are really important, and if they aren't already, that could be something to start looking out for. Start learning what different birds mean. Start noticing, again, with the noticing and the observing. Notice when certain kinds of birds are coming to you. Is there a certain kind of bird that is frequenting your window or your trees outside, or when you're driving to work or something like that? You got the letters G and M. MG. Oh, also B. Could be a mixture of some sort of initials. Could be the angel or spirit guide that you know of. Could be yourself, or could be, a word could come to mind with each of the letters. Got the octopus, and that I love that with the 8 of Wands. I don't love that necessarily, but that goes perfectly with what I was saying about the 8 of Wands and octopus. Of course, octopi have 8 tentacles, but when I see the octopus, it's like your tentacles are all over the place. You got your tentacles in a lot of different places. You've got a lot going on. You've got a lot on your plate, and it's becoming a little bit overwhelming. So again, these grounding practices are very important. You got the rocking horse. So I mentioned kiddos, and some of you might have some kiddos that you could learn a lot from when you are more present and you're more observant of them. I'm feeling called to mention this. Some of you may be interested in conscious parenting. I'm currently taking a coaching class program situation where I have like a workbook and reading material that I work throughout the week, and then every week on Tuesday nights I meet with my coach and we talk about those things and how to work through them. And I'm not going to get into super detail with all of that, but that just might be a message for somebody if you've been thinking about conscious parenting. If you've been struggling with parenting, that might be something that you might want to look into. TikTok has a ton of content. YouTube, books, Beyond Behaviors. What was the other one? Nonviolent communication. And what was the other one? I can't think of the other one, but if I think of it, I'll put it on the screen or something. But those are some books that you could look into if you are interested. That was a very specific message for somebody. But if you don't have kids, if you don't want to have kids, that's fine. That could just be coming out again for like this childlike play and this childlike imagination and like approach to life where you just are in the present moment and you're just noticing things and observing things and having fun. And yeah. So I feel like you got the 5 of Pentacles. So there may be some sort of, worry about money. Some of the stuff that you have on your plate could have to do with work, could have to do with finances or your career or your home. Just might be really overwhelming, a lot going on again. And so you're feeling a little bit hopeless, feeling very kind of lost, I feel, at this time. So again, just everything that I've been saying, learning new tools, learning grounding, centering, all of that good stuff. Let me see what else we've got here. Got the moon. Okay, wow. So you got double moon. So the moon is really important. I mentioned it already, and you've got 2 moons. So really pay attention to the moon cycles. If you are someone who menstruates, you might want to think about cycle syncing. That's coming up. If not, if you're not someone who menstruates or you're not interested in that, that's fine. You can still live your life more in accordance to the moon. You've got the mask, the rubber band, the Pegasus. I love that. Again, more angel, spirit guide, and whatnot. That just that's making me think again of imagination, using your imagination. Got the elephant. Elephants are very wise. They remember every single thing that ever happened. I just watched an elephant documentary on Disney Plus, so you might want to go check that out. Oh my goodness. Okay. So much. You got another wing, and I just burped a little. So there is for sure birds for some of you are the message here. There's definitely messages in birds for some of you, but I also this is totally an angel, spirit guide, spirit team member coming to be I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I support you. Find me outside. Find me in the birds. Find me, as a butterfly, a hummingbird, a tree. Come and find me. Come and talk to me. I'm here for you. I want to communicate with you. I want to support you. You just have to be more open. You have to be more present to the outside world, to yourself, and to this being of whatever that means, whichever that would be for you. You probably know at this point, if this keeps coming up, I feel like you probably have an idea of who this could be or what this might be. What else? We got the anchor. And so I love that with all of the different messages about getting very grounded, getting very centered, just kind of rooting down into your home, rooting down into yourself and your existence as a human being on this earth, really feeling safe and supported at this time is important. You got a sewing machine. So I feel like for some of you, the sewing machine could be like directly about sewing. Some of you could be sewists. Some of you could be really into fashion or something. I just feel like it's just about something very creative, artistry, crocheting, knitting, maybe painting, something of that nature. Some of you are very interested in creative work, and I feel like you're maybe just really overwhelmed with ideas, really overwhelmed with all of these different things that like you always are wanting to do, but you end up doing none of them because you're so overwhelmed. And trust me, I feel that deep in my heart and soul. It is so hard to, you know, do things when you have so many things on your mind. But again, get outside, you know, write in your notebook some of the ideas that you have and just slowly do them. Do them outside or do them, you know, by your window, something like that. You got the mask. And so I feel like honestly you've been very like closed off. I think you've been very in yourself because, you know, probably because you've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed and unsure of things. So I think even with yourself, you've been kind of closed off, but it's time to take the mask off. It's time to be the fool. This fool does not have a mask on. This fool has a hood on, so, you know, if you still need a little extra protection, a little extra something to keep you a bit hidden, that's totally fine. But I really feel like it's important for you, pile number one. The mushrooms want you to know it's time to open up. It's time to take the mask off and be who you were meant to be. Be the fool. Be the Queen of Cups. You know, be the Knave of Cups. It's time. You got the rubber band, last but not least, and this to me just really represents like adaptability and flexibility. And so I said that was one of the very first things I said with the Fool card, is just seeing what comes, come what may. What is that from? Come what may. I don't even know. I'm thinking about the movie Encanto. Does it say that in Mirabelle's song when she's saying that she's been waiting on a miracle? I think so. I don't know. But come what may, anything could happen, and you just have to be open. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to just roll with the punches and, you know, roll with the chaos and learn how to find those moments of being grounded and being safe and confident and all of that good stuff. This reading ended up being like almost 25 minutes long, which is totally fine, but today I was like, I'm gonna try to keep it like 10 to 15 minutes, but nope, the mushrooms had a lot to say today, okay? Thank you so much, pile number one, for letting me read for you today. Thank you for being here. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you found messages that resonated, and even if you didn't, please leave a comment down below. I love to hear feedback on my readings. If you would like to see and hear more from me in the future, I would love if you subscribed and joined my little tarot corner over here. Yeah, so thanks again, and I hope to read for you again soon. Bye, pile number one. Well, pile number two, welcome to your reading. I was just taking a few deep breaths before beginning, and my little kitty cat thought it would be fun to come from underneath the desk back there and slap some stuff. So that is just Luna's way of saying hello there. The mushrooms would like you to know that Luna is here for your reading. It could be a message of being playful, being silly. Maybe you have a pet or a little creature of some kind, if you know what I mean. who likes to cause some trouble, who likes to cause some chaos in your life sometimes. And this is just a nice reminder to be patient and be gentle with them as they learn and grow. Let me try to get her focused on something else. Alrighty, I just had to play with her little fish toy for a minute there, and now she's playing with it on her own. So that was just a little nice reminder. So if you hear her playing noises in the background, sorry about that, but at least she's not up here whacking things. But that was just a nice little reminder that sometimes someone may be causing a ruckus or a disturbance of some kind, or maybe getting on your nerves, and sometimes it's just because they need a little bit of attention, a little bit of playtime, a little bit of action. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pile number 2, if you chose the double mushrooms. So cute, a little big one and a small one, like a little mama and a baby. And then they got the grandpappy up here. So I tried something new today, and I actually pre-shuffled the cards. So let me know what you think about that. I have not looked at them yet. I just shuffled them out, but have not looked at them. You've got the King of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Ooh. Oh man. Well, so good news is, it's all good news, but main front and center card here, we have the King of Cups. And I feel like this is kind of you coming out of these two cards, which I will talk about now. You have the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords, like I said. So goodness, my friend, I feel like you have been going through it. I think that you could have just gone, I mean, I think you, no, I don't think, I know, you just went through a breakup. Like, there's no beating around the bush here. You just went through a breakup or some kind of like very intense ending of a situation. But for most of you, I feel like it is a relationship. Three of Swords is the card of heartbreak. It's the card of just like, yeah, I mean, it's literally, most decks often portray it as like 3 knives, 3 swords to the heart, because it's kind of that just like heart stabbing, gut wrenching pain. I'm sorry that I'm kind of rubbing it in right now, and that laugh was an uncomfortable laugh because I've been there, my friend. I've been there, and you know, look at these fairies on the card. They're crying together. They're sad. This is like immense sorrow. But the good news, like I said, having the Ten of Swords be here is really a sign of like the worst of it is over. Truly, the worst of it, I feel, is over. It is over now. I think that the heartbreak happened, and you know, it's still painful, like with the Ten of Swords here, still painful, still feeling very stuck, still feeling a lot of feelings, but I just really see that this is the thick of it. You are right now in the thick of it, and I just want to take a moment to say that I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for the pain and suffering that you've been going through. I'm so sorry for these deep, tough emotions that you've been battling and dealing with, and I just want to say that I'm here holding space for you. But the most beautiful thing about a Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords is often kind of a tough card to see, and especially with the Three of Swords, I am not gonna lie, but the great news about the Ten of Swords, and what I love about the Ten of Swords card, is there's these flowers. They're already in bloom. There's this flower here that has just grown and is just starting to bud, and pretty soon it's going to bloom, because what comes from this like death of basically like who you are, or who you thought you were. That's really what it is. It's like who you thought you were with this other person or in this situation. For a select few of you, this could be something like, you lost your job, or you are having to suddenly like switch career paths or something like that. But I really feel like for most of you, this is about a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be, I'm hearing some of you, it's like a female relationship. Love those. Doesn't have to be though. Could be any and all genders and combinations of preferences, but I just definitely feel like I was called to say that so that somebody knows, like, yes, this is about you and that person. But I feel like, and I'm also noticing that on the teapot, there's like the same almost pink rose-like flowers, and on this card too. So see, like, there is beauty. Like, this is so painful, and this is really hard. It's a big deal. It's the ending of a relationship. It's the end of a really hard cycle, a really hard time in your life, honestly. Like, that she's literally being stabbed and bleeding all over the place. But it's all happening for a reason. And I know that's, sorry, the camera's shaky. My kitty is here cuddling with me. So if you have a kitty or a pet or somebody that you can just give a hug to, I just really feel like you need a hug. If you like hugs, if you don't, disregard. But if you are someone who likes hugs, hug yourself. I'm hugging you if you accept it through the camera, through the internet. But if you can, I think that it would be really nice if you could find somebody who would be willing to give you a hug. Like, oh, I just want to give you a hug if you want it. Just to be clear. No non-consensual hugs, even if they're virtual. But yeah, I really feel like, nobody wants to hear it's happening for a reason, but you were meant to. Kitty is being really playful during this reading, and I feel like maybe if you've been thinking about getting a cat, maybe your cat can be, your new best little buddy. Sorry, we're shaking so much. I'm really trying to like do something with her, but she is on a good one right now. She's very playful at this time of night. And of course, she's wanting to be a part of the reading. Come here, Luna. Just sit on my lap, okay? But yeah, so with the King of Cups, I feel like that is the main thing that that's the main thing that the mushrooms want you to know, is to focus on this King of Cups vibes. Focus on learning how to regulate yourself, learning how to be there for yourself, to feel your feelings. This time, while it is a time of like, you know, you're going through all these things and you're wanting to come out of it the other end, it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of work, I feel, for you. And so this could be a sign, this is a message for probably a good amount of you, to be honest, just based off of the reading. You might want to speak to a professional of some kind. You may want to just speak to like a friend or a family member, even if therapy is not your thing or it's not something that you have access to. Because I know, like, I've had trouble in the past having access to that kind of help, but I just really feel like it would be beneficial for you to kind of talk through some of these things with somebody else. But I feel like also something I'm hearing is journaling, so that you can kind of talk to yourself. If you're not somebody who likes to like physically write something out, you could try typing on like a online journal like Evernote or even just the Notes app. Or you could use your phone or your computer to record yourself. There she goes again. She does not want to sit in my lap, and she's like causing such a commotion that all of her cat hair is like flying up into the air and into my nose and eyes right now. This is so crazy to me. I feel like, again, if you were thinking about getting a cat, they're so delightful. You may want to get one, just so they can help lighten the mood a little bit and make your eyes really itchy. So I feel like with the King of Cups, this is like I said, the mushrooms really want you to know that what you need to be focused on right now, whether that's with yourself or with like somebody else of some kind, it is very important right now that you focus on your self-regulation, your emotional regulation, allowing yourself to feel your feelings, because you have to feel them. This was very hard. This was very painful. It was a big deal, like I said. And so you have to feel your feelings. You've got to work through this. You can't just, you know, move on and pretend like you didn't go through these things, because that would be just like putting a band-aid on these wounds. These wounds need help. They need time to heal. Some of them might need stitches. Some of them might need some glue. So it's just really important that you are giving yourself, you know, grace and patience and kindness and gentleness at this time, because you may feel like you don't even have a right, some of you, to like feel the way that you feel about what you went through, but I just keep saying it, like, it really was such a big deal. So pile number 2, I would like to get some charms now for you to see if we can get any additional messages, signs, synchronicities. I may have to put this cat somewhere else. Not that there's really anywhere for her to go in this house, but she is like literally just attacking everything that I'm doing right now. She's just pulled some of the other piles of mushrooms off the table. She just tried to get the pile number 4 off of the table. So let me go see what I can do about her. All right, I just had to put her in the room with my daughter, who is sleeping. Hopefully she doesn't cry or try to bust through the door or anything like that. Oop, one just fell onto the floor. Let me see what that is. Oh, you've got to be joking me right now. It's a paw. It's literally a little paw charm. So I feel like for some of you, this is totally 100% a sign, you know, from your cat that you already have, maybe to get more playful with them, or your pet, or this is a sign for some of you to get a pet. If you don't like cats, or if you're allergic to cats, or you just don't want a cat, that's totally fine. Maybe a dog, maybe even a fish or a bird, but I definitely feel like at this time you could totally use a pet. It would be, like, what I'm hearing is an emotional support animal. I think you need a companion right now. You need somebody to be there for you and to love you unconditionally, because I feel like, you know, with this breakup, with this tough situation, I don't think that you were getting the love and the respect and the kindness that you deserved from the other person. So I think that it could be a really beautiful thing to have a relationship with a being that doesn't use their words to communicate with you. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, but like, they don't tell you with their words how much they love you. You just know by the things that they do, by the way that they act, by, you know, a cat curling up in your lap and purring, or, you know, them rubbing their head on you, or a dog like following you around the house. So I just feel like relationships with pets are such a beautiful thing, and I think it would be really helpful for some of you. If you don't want a pet, or you have enough pets, you know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I think if you already do have pets, I would definitely say that this is a suggestion to kind of lean on them and lean more into them, and, you know, love on them and let them love on you. Let's see what else we got. We got the witch. And so typically I feel like I feel something else when I see the witch, but what I just heard, and I just am gonna say what's coming to my mind and my heart, is some of you may want to look into witchcraft. When I was going through, you know, the 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords kind of vibe, when I was, you know, nearing the end of a really, I don't want to say toxic, well, it was a toxic relationship. He was kind of toxic, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to put all the blame on him. It was a toxic situation for me. Anyway, when I was coming out of it, I started getting into witchcraft, and it was because I was finding witchcraft and all these signs and synchronicities, and you know, beginning my practice and taking care of myself and being more aware of myself and my emotions and the world around me. And I was just getting all these like hits and these messages and these intuitive feelings that what I was involved in was no longer serving me. That is what really brought me out of that relationship, and it's what really, really helped me heal so much of myself, not just from that relationship, but so much more. When like COVID and quarantine first happened, I spent at least a couple of months just like solely at home. Like, I would not even go to the store or anything. My parents would go to the store at that time for the house, and I would do tarot every single day for myself. I would, you know, do yoga, I would meditate, I would sit outside and, like, you know, watch the butterflies and just look at the grass and the flowers. And so, you know, this is a message from the mushrooms, and so you may or may not be interested in mushrooms. And that's about all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I think you'll know what I mean. Because I feel like the mushrooms are really calling you to get connected to yourself and to the world, like I've been saying. And I think that there are some tools, if you know what I mean, that could help you with that, but I'm not, you know, I'm not your doctor, I'm not a professional, you know, of any kind, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, moving on. That, again, I just feel the need to say more. I wish I could say even more, but that was something that helped me a ton with my healing journey, with my spiritual journey, witchcraft and other things. So take with that what you will. That's just my personal. I'm not giving anybody advice or like medically or, yeah. So there's this documentary that I just started watching today, in between readings actually, when I took a break to go to my pole class, and then I ate some dinner, and while I was eating dinner, I was watching this movie called Fantastic Fungi. So that could be something that you might want to watch. It's on Netflix, and it's very interesting so far. Let's just keep on going here. You got PS. Ooh. So I feel like that could be your initials, the other person's initials, or SP, but I'm also just like definitely picking up on like PS. Like, I don't know, maybe this person has something that they want to say to you. And what I feel is that you should not really, like, if you want to listen to it, go ahead. If you want to hear them out, go ahead, like, use your judgment. But I feel like there's nothing left to say with the Ten of Swords. It's kind of like beating a dead horse. Like, there's nothing really left to say. You don't have to let them say anything if you don't want to. You can just block, unfollow, whatever. My cat is causing a ruckus in the room. Hold on. Okay, I just had to let her out of the room because she was just wreaking havoc in there. And she's being pretty crazy out here right now. And I just feel like it's so interesting that my cat has been so rowdy during your reading, because she was not during pile number 1. And I feel like normally at this time of night, while I am like working usually on my computer, sitting in the same spot but just like working on my computer, she is usually just sleeping on the couch. So I don't know what has gotten into her this evening, but I feel like, with the pet charm, or like the paw print charm being there, I definitely feel like somebody is picking up on something from her presence and her playfulness and whatnot. Something that's popping into my mind is maybe there was, in this breakup, you lost your pet. Maybe you shared a cat specifically, or a dog, with your partner or whoever you are like moving on from, if that's not a romantic relationship. And so maybe a lot of your like sadness and like confusion and pain and hurt isn't just from the breakup itself, but it's also from like losing your pet, or not getting to see your pet as much now, or if at all, or for some of you, maybe even you lost a pet. I feel like for some of you, yeah, like some of you lost a pet. And that could even be, if this whole like, not this whole romantic vibes was not resonating with you, the intense pain and loss that you feel could be from losing a pet, because they are that's just as valid of the loss as, any family member or person in your life. Could be just as sad, just as painful as a breakup. So I'm sorry for your loss, again, if that is you who lost a pet, or any person, but yeah, I feel like it's definitely a specific message that some of you lost a pet during this breakup. And so if you're not feeling like right away you want to get a new pet, that's totally fine. But I feel like, oh my gosh, no freaking way. I didn't even notice this whole time, but there's another cat charm. I love charms. I love charms. I love tarot. This is why I do what I do. Oh my gosh, I was just about to say, this could be a sign from your cat saying it's okay. It's okay if you want to get a new friend. It's also okay if you don't want to get a new friend, like a new pet. I think they want you to be happy. They want you to feel like that loving connection, that friendship. They want you to be able to move on and to find joy and companionship again. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you guys. Or girls, or gays, or theys. That's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I can't even get over that. That is like insane. Like, it's so magical. That's so beautiful. Like, not one cat pet charm, but two. Like, I really feel like some of you are being called to get a pet if you haven't before, or to get a new pet, or to focus more on your pets. You got the 10 of Cups. See, you're meant to be fulfilled. You're meant to be happy, to find joy, to have this like beautiful, bountiful life and family and all of the things. Got the 6 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. Goodness gracious, so much swords for you. So I feel like, yeah, I just feel like you're really feeling stuck right now. Like, the 8 of Swords is kind of similar-ish vibes to the 10 of Swords, except it's just that it's like, I'm sorry to be the one to burst your bubble, but it's like at this point you are kind of holding yourself back a little bit. You're kind of, you know, you kind of have yourself stuck in the past, stuck, you know, in these feelings, which is totally normal and totally valid. But this is just like a gentle, you know, okay, time to get a move on, time to, you know, still feel these feelings. They're, again, totally valid. Still feel them, still reflect on them, still be kind to yourself as you heal from them, but also it's time to actually take steps towards healing these wounds. Actually take steps towards building your new life, towards building your new family, if it's that kind of a situation where this person was your family, especially if you had like pets together or kids together or something like that. It's time for you to build your new life and to find your joy again and your fulfillment and what makes you happy and all of the things, because you deserve it. And so with the citrine crystal here, I feel like you're really, you know, working on your confidence and you're regrowing with this leaf charm. Like, you're beginning to, like when in winter the trees lose all of their leaves and they're bare. That's kind of where you're at with this 10 of Swords, you know, with this whole situation. You're like a bare-leafed, is that a word? A bare-leafed tree. You have no leaves left. You lost every damn one of your leaves, every last one. You lost them all in this situation. But your leaves are starting to grow back. They're starting to grow back, okay? So you're growing your leaves back, and you're getting more confident in yourself and your intuition and your hopes and dreams and being happy. And it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to move on. It's okay to want better for your life. And oh my gosh, okay, there's also a bunny. So goodness gracious, maybe some of you, it's a bunny that you want to get. Maybe it's a guinea pig or a mouse or a snake, I don't know. But like, oh my gosh, 3 pets. Get a freaking pet if you want one. Obviously, if you don't want a pet, or you don't already like have a pet, or you know, if that's just really not resonating with you, you don't have to listen to that part of the reading, but this also might not be the pile for you. I feel like pets are just a very clearly big theme here. Wow. You got Sagittarius, so you might be a Sagittarius, or the person who you are, breaking up from and moving on from could have been a Sagittarius. So, sun sign, moon, rising. I think one of the big 3 placements would have been a Sag for that person or for you, but when I just flipped this over, it says optimistic. So I'm feeling like that's, even if that was the other person's sign, I feel like that's just a really good message. Or if nobody is a Sagittarius of any kind, I feel like optimistic is a really good message here. It's like, you got to be optimistic. You got to notice these flowers that are budding. You got to notice the flowers that are already around you. You've got to start thinking about the future, thinking about moving on. Like, he's here pondering. He's like, where can I find joy? Where can I find happiness? How can I bring more fulfillment and enlightenment and joy and laughter into my life? Because I deserve it. And the last couple charms that I've just been like playing with over here, got the sewing machine, which pile number 1 also got. So you could have felt drawn to pick pile number 1 as well, possibly. But if not, totally fine. I feel like maybe get a new wardrobe. Like, that's such a specific message, but I feel like for some of you, you could be like really reinventing yourself, and again, like finding that confidence. Like, maybe the person who you were with or the person you were dealing with was not a fan of the way that you would dress, or you don't like the way that you dressed when you were with the person. So maybe it's time to like show up and show out. Get yourself a new outfit, go out, meet some people, have some fun, be optimistic. You don't have to like meet the next person that you're gonna be with for the rest of your life. Just go out and like say hi to someone who you'll never even talk to again, or they could be your best friend, or they could be someone, there's just so many possibilities. So that was a very specific message for somebody, but I feel like getting some new clothes or just like treating yourself to something that, maybe buy a sewing machine, take up a new hobby, maybe get a pet and take up a new hobby. That sounds like it would be a really fun time right now. And then you also, last but not least, got this here, a rubber band, which is getting more and more stretched out the more times I pull this. I feel like this also got, yeah, sorry, we're shaking so much I'm getting excited. I feel like pile number 1 also had this rubber band, so definitely check out pile number 1 if you are feeling called to it as well, but again, you don't have to. But the rubber band to me is like flexibility, and I think that, you're like this, stuck in the 8 of Swords, stuck in the 10 of Swords, and it's time for you to like stretch it out. It's time for you to realize that you can get out of there. Like this was only on my fingers because look at that, I put it there, and I'm the only one that can get it off. And it's just like that, easier said than done. Not really, but in this specific case, but it's just time. It's time to be more adaptable, more flexible, to stretch and expand and grow and heal and all of the things. Beautiful pile number 2. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you found messages that resonated with you, if you didn't, I would love a comment to let me know. I love hearing feedback about my readings. I would absolutely love to see you again, and if you want to see more from me, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and maybe even share this video with a friend if you have a friend who could use some mushy messages, some messages from the mushrooms. Again, thank you so much, and I hope to read for you again soon. Goodbye, pile number 2. Also, pile number 2, I just wanted to mention that my cat finally is up on her little perch in her bed, just relaxing and chilling now, after I was finished with your pile. So, interesting. Alrighty, pile number 3, if you chose this itty bitty baby mushy right here, this is your reading. I have said this now. This will be my third time that I decided to pre-shuffle the cards for the first time ever doing a reading, I believe. But I just thought I would try something new today. I have not looked at the cards yet. I just pre-shuffled them out for each pile. So we have the Three of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Okay. Alrighty. I feel like there's something really beautiful looking at this Two of Swords and the Three of Cups. In these two cards right here, it's like a partnership, a community, like social gathering, a friendship. There's something really beautiful going on with other people, but there's also some sort of conflict. There's also some sort of disagreement happening. This fairy right here does not look very happy with this fairy, and this fairy kind of is looking very like boastful and like overly proud of himself about this dragon hatching. But I do love that we've got some mushies here in the background. Different kinds of mushrooms too. I just can't stop looking at the mushrooms. But yeah, I do. So I feel like there's somewhere that there is some sort of disconnect. I feel like the people around you, like the friendships that you have right now, could possibly be this kind of energy where there's conflict and disagreement and people aren't feeling proud of themselves, or not proud of themselves, but people aren't feeling proud of each other. They're kind of feeling jealous of each other's successes, jealous of each other's like accomplishments. And that's not really a very good vibe, pile number 3. It's kind of lame. I feel like, you know, the people in your life, it's like this is what you're longing for. You're longing for connection. You're longing for celebrating with your friends all of your accomplishments, celebrating even just life in general. I feel like you're really longing for gatherings and friends who will meet you where you are and you meet them where they are, like physically, but spiritually and mentally and emotionally. Like this fairy has her hand on this fairy's shoulder, and you want friends who aren't going to have their arms crossed at you. You want the friend who you can lean on for support and you can lean into for guidance and acceptance and love. And it's almost making me want to cry because I feel like you just are not having meaningful connections right now. And maybe a sad part of this could be that this person is somebody who maybe you were once really connected with. You did get along with them really well and you had a beautiful friendship, but I don't feel like this person is it for you anymore. I think that you are up leveling. I think you're seeking so much more. I think for some of you, I'm feeling like this is a childhood connection, like somebody who's been in your life for a really long time, and maybe you've even felt like this way for a really long time. Like maybe you have always been really jealous of, you know, the things that they have done that you couldn't, or maybe they have always been really jealous of the things that you did or you couldn't. I had a friend who, this is a very interesting story, but I'm feeling the need to use it as an example. I had a friend growing up from a very young age, and I was so jealous of her because her family had a lot more money than mine did. She got everything that she wanted, and when my parents got divorced, I was jealous that her parents were together, that she had, the happy family, and she was rich, and she had all the things she wanted, and her parents together, and I was so jealous of her. But when I grew up and, we grew apart and we stopped being as close for a long time, we're not super close now, but we still do keep in contact here and there. I don't think she watches my videos, but anyway, that's what I'm saying is like, this person doesn't have to be in your life anymore just because they're from your childhood, just because you've known them for a long time. And the thing about that connection was that she was also jealous of me. She was jealous of me because her parents fought all the time. Her parents didn't get along. So she just might have, I don't think, she never admitted this to me, but I always thought she probably wanted them to not be together so they would just stop fighting right in front of her. But I was over here so jealous that they were still together, not realizing that that probably wasn't the best for everybody involved. And she was also jealous, probably, I'm assuming, but it was an issue that her mom would always compare her to me. She would say, why can't you act like Anna? Why can't you do this like Anna? Why can't you, she was always like, her mom was always putting me up on a pedestal, and so it created a lot of resentment towards me because her mom was wanting her to be more like me, and that's just not okay for so many reasons. And I wish that she wouldn't have done that. It made me so uncomfortable. And yeah, so I'm sharing that just to say that as an example, and something in there might be semi relatable to a certain extent for some of you, but I really just feel like this childhood connection or this long-term relationship or situation is just no longer serving you. I think you are up-leveling, like I said, you are growing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you're healing, you're working on yourself, you're exploring yourself and life. I think you may have done some things that have really opened you up to a new way of thinking and believing about life and love and connection, and you're really seeking that. You're seeking people who feel the same way as you, who see the beauty in a blooming rose, who see the beauty in the blades of grass, who want to get together and try something new, if you know what I'm saying, who want to get together and connect and, touch each other, hug, be there for each other, have a lovely drink or elixir of your choice, to garden with, to drink some tea with, to blow bubbles with. Like, you want to truly have some deep, meaningful connections and a community. Like, I feel like you are just dying for a community and friendship and your soul sisters, your soul brothers, your soul people. You want to find your soul family. And what the mushrooms want you to know is that they want to find you too. They really want to find you too. They're out there. They're waiting for you. They're ready. You have to call them in. This is your sign from the mushrooms. Call in your soul people, your people who think like you, or even, it doesn't mean that the perfect exact person like you are not going to show up in another person form. Nobody can be, exactly what you want them to be, but you have people out there. You have a community that you are meant to find. And it's going to happen, I promise you. Sahara Rose, I believe, posted a podcast or a video on her YouTube. I found it through her video on YouTube, which I think was of her podcast. But she talks about how to call in your soul sisters. And this works regardless of gender. You can just phrase it as your soul family or your soul people. And it's all about, it's like fully working through a bunch of questions of like what your soul people look like. How do they act? What do they do? How do they treat you? How do they treat other people? What are their values? All of those kinds of questions. And that is something that recently really, really helped me, like so much, to call in some of my soul family who I have now. It's been something that I have wanted for so long. And the day before I met some of these people was when I answered those questions after watching her video. So if I remember, I will try to link that down below, but Sahara Rose, when I'm editing, I will try to make a note or like put it across the screen so that you can see her name, so you can go look that up, because I definitely feel like you are being called right now to call in your soul family. And if you're watching this video as it's coming out, we'll be coming off of a full super moon. So I definitely feel like this is a good time to start working with the moon for your manifestations, specifically about your soul family or whatever else it is that you are wanting to manifest at this time. All right, so pile number 3, I'm going to get some charms for you for any additional symbolism, messages from the mushies, and what have you. All right, we've got the 3 of Swords, dang. We've got the Ace of Wands and the 10 of Wands. We've got a Witch with the Web, Stirring Cauldron. We've got Glass Slipper. Got a Mask. Ooh, we got a Mermaid. Oh my goodness, we got a mermaid! With all of these mermaids. Yes, you're meant to find your mermaid sisters. Or your mermaid people. Got Taurus energy here. I feel like this person that you're dealing with could be a Taurus, or maybe you, but there's just very like stubborn energy that I'm picking up on. So I'm feeling there may be some Taurus. Ooh, we got Capricorn as well, so could be a Cap, you, or this person that you're kind of having a falling out with. Got the Anchor. I believe that the Anchor was in pile number 1, and I think that the Mask was in pile number 2. So if you were feeling drawn to either one of those piles as well, I would definitely check that out. But you do not have to if you don't want to. You got the letter A, and also, so with the letter A, with the Taurus or the Capricorn, this could be referring to you or the person that you're kind of having this falling out with, or it could be a sign when you find a member of your soul family. Like you could meet somebody in the next, I just heard 2 weeks. You could meet someone in the next 2 weeks, even if you're really serious and you call this in. That name starts with an A. That is a Taurus or a Capricorn, sun, rising, moon. You could meet somebody who is obsessed with mermaids like you are, or just they are, but I feel like you are too. For some reason, pile number 3, I feel like you're a mermaid enthusiast like me. I love that the cups fairies are like mermaid fairies. I love that. And with the Anchor, yeah, I feel like you're really wanting to like find your roots and like find a home in other people, find like your home in community. You want to like build a life with other people around you. And I feel it. I don't want to live this life so alone and disconnected from other people all the time. I want to live in a community too. I want to find my soul family. I have found some members, but I want to find more. I want to find people who I could like live with and have a little hippie commune with and build a village and, you know, plant our roots for generations to come. I feel like something that is really going to help you if you look up the Sahara Rose like video and questions is you have to take off your mask. You have to be the kind of person that you're trying to attract as well. You know, it's like these fairies right here look very similar. They're not the same. They got different wings, they got different dresses, one's taller than the other, so they're not the same, but they're very similar. So if you take off your mask and you be who you truly are, even these ones, they're like, they all have the same color hair, but they're clearly different. You have to take off your mask and you have to be who you are, totally, fully, authentically, in order to let people see you so that your soul family can find you as well. Because remember, like I said, they're looking for you too. I feel like with the Three of Swords being here, this could be a breakup romantically. It could just be a very, very hard friendship breakup, or even a family member. Could be like a cousin, I'm hearing for some of you. Like a cousin who, like, they've kind of been around your whole life because they have to be, because they're your cousin, but you don't want them to be anymore. They don't have to be around anymore. You could just see them at Thanksgiving, or even not if you don't want to. You got the paperclip. And so with this one, I feel like what I'm hearing is like it's time to get things in order. Very interesting. Time to get things in order. I don't know what that could be about. Maybe you're gonna meet somebody at work from your soul family. Maybe somebody new is gonna start working with you and they will be a member of your soul family, possibly. If you don't work with other people, maybe eventually you will meet somebody and they will be somebody that you will work with. Maybe that's something that you're hoping for, is like you want to like have a small business, or you want to do something with work, but you don't want to do it alone. And so I'm feeling like somebody from your soul family might be somebody who you could potentially have like a partnership with in business, or maybe even life, romantically speaking. It's really beautiful that you got the witch kind of like stirring the cauldron with the web behind. And I feel like that this is a big message that you are meant to network. You are meant to get connected, to build your web, to bring people in. I'm also hearing that like having a meal, cooking a meal for other people, or like going and having a potluck dinner, or just like being more open to meeting new people or inviting new people over when you do meet people who really speak to your soul, who you really love and who you want to be a part of your life. Don't just like think like, oh, I just met them and I'll see them when I see them. Get involved if you feel called to. Invite them over for dinner. Invite them out to dinner if you're not comfortable yet with them being at your home. Ask if you can come over. Meet them at a coffee shop. Go get some tea together. Go to the library, what have you. I really feel like connecting, and especially over like a meal or like drinks or food of some kind, is like a very, very strong message. And the glass slipper, this is not the message that I usually get from this. Usually it's like, if the shoe fits, wear it kind of thing. But what I'm really getting from this is like, you've outgrown this shoe. You've outgrown the people in your life currently. You've outgrown these friendships that are from your childhood or are like very many years old. You have really outgrown this situation or this person or these people. And it's really time that you open yourself up to new people and new connections, new community. Find a new glass slipper. All right. Wow, that was really beautiful, pile number 3. I love that for you. I love that you're finding your soul family. I love that you're finding community and connection in these deep, deep friendships. I love that for you, that this is something that I have been wanting for a long time, so it's really beautiful. All right. So, if you liked this video, please give it a like. If you found messages that resonated with you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I like hearing feedback on my readings. It brings me so much joy to hear little chunks and pieces of, what messages people found. So please do that if you feel called to. If you want to hear more from me in the future, I would love it if you would subscribe, maybe even share this video with a friend who also loves mushrooms and could use a message from the mushrooms, mushy messages. Thank you so much again, pile number 3, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Alrighty. Last, but certainly not least, pile number 4. This is your reading. That was very strange. I've never done a pile number 4, I don't think, and I usually say that for pile number 3. So if you chose this little fatty, this is your reading. I tried something new today, and I pre-shuffled the cards before the reading so that I would reduce the number of repeat cards, but turns out we've been having some repeat charms, so that is really fun and interesting, even though I fully mix up the charms so good. But anyway, I have not looked at the cards yet. I have just shuffled them out, but I haven't seen any of the cards that you got. We have the 9 of Swords. Get this to focus. I'll bring that closer. I guess I haven't been doing that much this reading. Sorry, it got a little shaky. The 9 of Swords. I'm just gonna have to focus once I get them all down. The Queen of Swords. Got the 5 of Wands. The Knave of Wands. Oh, interesting. We have sword, sword, wand, wand. Let's see. And then we have Temperance. And we have the 9 of Cups. Oh, 9 and 9. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let me just kind of move these around a little bit. Make sure you can see them all. All right. These cards are so beautiful and vibrant, and I love that we got a couple of wands that have the beautiful mushrooms like we have here. All right. My focus is just immediately on this Knave of Wands, the Page of Wands. And it's just such an interesting card. There's just this pondering that's happening here. And I feel like you've got some sort of new passion that you're considering, but you haven't quite taken an action towards it, is what I'm thinking. You're sitting here, watching TikTok videos, or just thinking about it, or going on Pinterest, or you're coming up with ideas, or thinking about it a lot, but you haven't actually begun to do it yourself. And I feel like this is something creative, possibly, and most likely. I feel like you could be wanting to take up something like painting or drawing, crocheting, knitting, sewing. He's got some interesting fashion going on here. So sewing could be something that you're interested in starting, which is interesting because the sewing machine charm came out in 2 of the readings. We'll see if it comes out for yours. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's just this some sort of like creative endeavor or like this new like energy that you're like considering, but for some reason you're feeling stuck in actually taking the action. And so it's interesting with the 5 of Wands, I'm seeing like this fairy hand, this fairy, an egg. And so I feel like maybe what the mushrooms want you to know is that pretty soon somebody is going to present you with an opportunity to actually begin. Maybe you'll finally find that idea or that piece of advice or that TikTok explanation video that's like, okay, that's the egg, here I go. Like, that's what I needed to know. That was the answer that I needed. That was the spark. That was the inspiration that needed to happen to actually make me like begin doing what it is that I want to do. Maybe you're thinking about a person. Honestly, for some of you, it could not be like a creative endeavor or like a new passion project or something like that. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm picking up heavily, especially with these mushrooms in the background that kind of look like something else, especially the color, if you know what I mean. Like the color of some people's mushrooms, if you know what I mean. I feel like this fairy might be kind of like, like, you know, how you doing? Like, I see you over there. Kind of cute, kind of a thing. Like, maybe you're pondering another person. Maybe you got a little crush on someone, I feel. Because what I'm seeing is there's this 9 of Cups card here, which is like, the 9 of Cups is like wish fulfillment, wishes granted. So I definitely feel like that could be a message for some of you, but I'm seeing it's a very interesting depiction of the 9 of Cups because it's a mermaid hugging another mermaid. I mean, not mermaid, fairy. I'm sorry, this is a mermaid fairy, but it's a fairy hugging another fairy, like seemingly in a sort of romantical way. It could be in a friendship way. Maybe you're pondering someone in a friendship way, but I am kind of picking up on a little spicy connection, if you know what I'm saying. And I feel like maybe you need to like give someone a gift or like make them something or invite them out on a date or something like that. It's definitely a specific message for somebody, but I feel like something that you've been really wanting and really trying to call into your life is like a deep romantic connection for some of you. Some of you, it could just be like friendship connection, and if that's the case, I would definitely check out pile number 3 because their pile talked a ton about like deep connections, soul family, and it could be referring to a soulmate, kind of a like a soulmate romantically for you possibly. And I think that pile had the sewing machine charm come out. If that's something that you feel drawn to, check out. If not, totally fine. Okay, you've got over here though, you've got this 9 of Swords, and that's like you're having fears, you're having doubts about your worth, your worthiness in like a new relationship or in a new creative endeavor. There's kind of a lot of different things going on here for you, pile number 4. And it's interesting because I almost called this something else, you know, relating to these here funny looking mushrooms. This is kind of a short little fat mushroom, so my mind is just going places, and I feel like that could possibly be where your mind is wandering off to. But I feel like you have some fears, you have some doubts, and maybe you have had some past relationship trouble, some past trauma in relationships or even friendships, if that's what's referring to. But you're scared to let somebody in, especially in that kind of way, but even just emotionally, even just like into your zone. I think that's why you're kind of sitting back here like, I like this person is cute, or I like this person, I like their vibe, but am I safe? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to get my heart broken? Like, you're thinking so far into the future that you're not able to have this beautiful Nine of Cups moment. You're not being able to... Sorry, I just like... When I was looking from afar, it kind of looked like he had a ring box behind her back. Like she just said yes to an engagement. Oh, but then I looked closer and it does not have that. But so yeah, like you're just feeling a lot of doubts, but all of these fears and all of these doubts is keeping you closed off from getting what you want, from meeting a soulmate connection, from meeting even if that's a soulmate, just friendship level, or from getting your wishes coming true as far as like a creative project or a creative endeavor or something of that nature. It's keeping you from like starting working on your passion because you're scared. You're scared that you're gonna fail, whether that's like, at painting or pottery or at a new relationship of some kind. And so with the Nine of Swords, like there's this butterfly flying in the background. There's these roses, and it just leads beautifully into the Queen of Swords. Like she's gotten herself out of this scary situation, of this like place of worry and fear and doubt and stress. She's gotten out of that, and she put the thorns on her head. She made a crown out of the thorns. She's no longer stuck in the thorns. She made the corns she made the thorns her bitches. She made the thorns into a crown, into something beautiful, not something to be fearful of, but something that other people fear. You're meant to like step up and use your voice. Use your voice to express yourself in the way that you feel, and your wants and your needs and your desires and your beauty. You're so beautiful inside and out. And that is meant to be expressed, whether that's through word, through song for some of you with this harp here, through fashion. I love her outfit. Love his outfit. Could be through fashion, be through design, could be through painting, pottery, like I said, some sort of artistry, some sort of creative energy. But it could also like literally just be with communicating with your words to other people, to a love interest, to a friendship, to a friend, or a potential friend, or just the people in your life in general. You're really being like, you're so fearful of sharing who you are and what you want and what you've been through. But I'm really hearing like you are supposed to creatively, sensually, passionately share your journey, your story, who you are, what you're here for. It's really getting deep. All right. Temperance. Oh, I love some temperance. I feel like... Oh, temperance. Something is just a little bit too much right now, possibly, or it's like getting to be that way, because temperance comes right before the devil, I believe. Like the devil comes after you've been a little out of balance, a little doing too much overindulging for a while. So temperance really is about that. Like temperance is a very like creative, very like sensual, very like flow back and forth type of a vibe. This is such a beautiful card. This is the card that is on the box for the Mystic Fairy Tarot. I love it. I want to see what the book says. I haven't done that at all for any of the readings or any of the cards, but I'm just feeling really called because it's on the box and the cover of the book. I want to see what this temperance says because I don't know that I think that actually, yes, temperance was the very first card too that I pulled out of this deck. Like after shuffling it really good, it was the first card that I ever pulled. So I just want to read what it says to you. Temperance reminds you to watch your reactions. Keep to the middle path and don't over or underreact to situations you face. Let whatever you do, think, or feel be appropriate and beneficial to whatever you are facing. Don't add to the chaos or drama by overreacting. Your task is now to center yourself and do whatever is necessary to establish balance in the situation. So yeah, you see there, definitely some balance being called for. I feel like this is a specific message for someone. If it doesn't resonate, leave it, but don't, like, if you find this soul person, maybe don't, I'm seeing this egg, don't throw all your eggs into that one basket and like think, oh, I met my soulmate, like they are my purpose, they are what life is all about, I'm just here to like be with them and I just love them so much and that's all you ever want to do or talk about or anything. Like a new relationship, a new connection is very exciting and wonderful and beautiful, but you aren't just here to be their person. You aren't just here to be there for them. Again, you were here to share your story. You were here to express yourself through art, through music, through beauty, what have you. Like, don't lose that boss bitch. Not boss bitch like capitalism, grind mode, wheel. Like, I just mean like you're a bad bitch. That's a better way to put it. Regardless of gender, as always. But like, you just are such a beautiful, strong, smart, amazing person. Not to toot your horn, but don't let yourself get lost in somebody else. That's just like a big message, and trust me, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you lose yourself in a person and you start to kind of like, you know, build a life together or get very attached to each other and you don't know how to like be your own people. So maybe if you already are in some sort of relationship, maybe this is already you, where it's not saying that this connection is not a good connection, because I really do feel like it is a very beautiful soulmate connection. But if you're already in that and you're interested in other things, like, I mean, could be talking poly situation here, but that's for you to decide, friends. But I'm just saying, if you're interested in other things and there's other places that you want to put your energy and your time and your passion and your focus right now, don't feel like you can't get a little bit of space from this person and kind of balance out and put your energy into something that you want to do in order to express and tell your story and whatnot. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get charms to get any additional messages, signs, or symbolism for you, pile number 4. Ooh, we got lots of letters for you, pile number 4. We have G-U-M, gum, or G-U-N, gun. or N-U-G, nug, or M-U-G, mug. Also got an X. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So these could be initials of, could be the word mug, nug, or gum, or gun. Could have some sort of meaning to you, but it could also be initials of this person, or could be your initials. I feel like with mug, maybe you want to paint mugs, maybe you want to make ceramic mugs. Maybe something you're passionate about is nugs, if you know what I mean. You also got Leo, generous. Again, maybe you need to get someone a gift, cook them dinner, something like that. You also got Virgo. So this person could be a Leo, Virgo. You could be a Leo, Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, or not. Could just be that, see, it says practical here. And what does this one say? Generous. So yeah, I think just like finding a balance between like being practical, being generous, being practical, and being magical. Just kind of really like finding that flow. And I feel like you're really meant to transmute, again, your like fears and doubts and pain and suffering that you've gone through. And you're really meant to transmute that and to transform it into something so beautiful and so amazing that's going to therefore inspire other people. Got the Page of Cups, which I love. I feel like the Page of Cups is a very, very interesting card that I think was in pile 1, if you felt called to any other piles. But it's a card to me that is like finding like these spiritual lessons, or finding even just joy simply in like the most odd places, like really just observing and being present in yourself and in the moment and with your emotions, and just like seeing what comes up, seeing like, you know, why do you feel scared? Why do you feel like stuck and alone and doubtful of yourself and your voice? Why do you feel like you don't deserve this Nine of Cups? Why do you not feel like you deserve your wishes being granted, or your soul family or your soulmate to be in your life? You also got the Moon. So again, like there's just things that are hidden, have been hidden for a long time, that are wanting to come out and into the light and be expressed and shared. And then last but not least, you got this cute little flower, which I love. I don't think I've seen this in here in a long time, but I just feel like you're blooming. Again, really goes nicely with that Nine of Swords to Queen of Swords. It's like you're blooming. You're noticing the flowers blooming. You're noticing the birds flying. You're noticing that there is so much beauty around you that can be transmuted again into something so grand. Like in this one, her wings are down, and in this one, they're up. You're meant to fly. You're meant to blossom. You're meant to be this beautiful thing that people smell. Just kidding. But this thing that people like observe and acknowledge and appreciate. Because you have so much to say, you have so much to give, you are so generous. All right, that was really beautiful, pile number 4. I love that for you. If you liked this video, please give her a like. If you found messages that resonated with you, I would love to hear about that in the comments. If you want to hear more from me in the future, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, so you know when I've got new stuff out. And if you feel called, maybe share with a friend or somebody who is a mushroom enthusiast and would like some mushy messages, some messages from the mushrooms. Thank you so much again for letting me read for you, pile number 4, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.